MMORPG game, Arklord, means a lot to the main character because it replaces his real life. A chromosomal disease prevents the boy from enjoying his daily routine, so he expresses his emotions on the internet. The boy's distraught mother tells him that someone has to die in order for things to change. Ben sits in his room, in front of his computer. He tells her that he plays every morning at a certain time. In the game, the guy has an online friend, Scarlight, although he suspects the character may be a fiction. After another play session, Ben goes about his morning routine, washing his hands and combing his hair for a certain amount of time. During the family breakfast, Ben just keeps quiet because of his frustration. He can't even talk. After the meal, the guy heads off to school. Standing at the bus stop, the boy looks at the people passing by and only gets upset. Poor Ben realizes that it is impossible for him to become an ordinary person. On the bus, the boy is bullied by his classmates, who constantly judge his personality. The bullies call the boy an alien and prevent him from listening to music. Because of the boy's silence, his classmates call him deaf and continue to bully him. The hero recalls how, in his early childhood, his parents and doctors checked his health. As a young boy, Ben understood to ignore extraneous noise. In the schoolyard, the boy continues to behave strangely to the people around him. The intense noise confuses Ben, and the boy gets lost in the crowd. Memories take the boy back to his childhood days. Ben's father mentions that in every generation there are strange children who prefer solitude. The man says that he often argued with his ex-wife over his studies because he wanted to send his son to a regular school. Ben is no dumber than his peers but has different habits. In the schoolroom, the boy is pelted with papers. The bullying is quickly responded to by a teacher who tries to calm the children down. At recess, Ben is interceded for by a roommate, but the boy also gets it from his classmates. The boys lift Ben up on the desk, not allowing him to come down. Now, the schoolchildren start making videos where they make fun of Ben. One of the bullies pulls down his pants and then continues to mock him. At the same time, a neighbor in the classroom films the moments of bullying, where you can see every schoolboy. When everyone leaves, Ben grabs a chair with which he smashes the window. The boy is shaking badly, even as the teacher takes him to the principal's office. The bullies talk their way out of it, but without evidence of bullying, the principal can do nothing. After talking to the students, the man has to let everyone go. When Ben is picked up by his mother, a neighbor in the class manages to hand the boy a video camera with evidence of guilt. At home, instead of talking to his mother about the situation at school, Ben sits down at the computer again. An anonymous person sends him a link to his email with the title Marksman Strips, which shows Ben naked. On the camcorder, the boy finds footage of his classmates laughing at him. Before going to bed, he chats with Scarlight again, which calms the boy down a bit. The next day, his mother takes Ben to another hospital checkup. While waiting for the appointment, he recalls numerous examinations from his childhood when doctors were just trying to figure out the problem. After lengthy examinations and prognosis, the doctors discovered Asperger's disease, a form of autism. The doctor sees no reason to medically justify a transfer from general school to individual education. Meanwhile, the video of the protagonist is parsed into memes and shared on social media. In the evening, the boy is again interacting with Scarlight, who he even sees in the room. The mother reports that she has noticed her son's concerns as the boy has become noticeably rougher. In the morning, Ben moves away from his usual bathroom manipulation and slams the door loudly. On his way to school, the boy receives a threatening text message and a warning not to talk about yesterday's events. He recalls many instances of stern kids bullying him. At the entrance to the schoolyard, the bullies are already waiting for him, but the boy manages to remain undetected. In a labor art class, classmates have fun with burners and don't listen to the teacher. To all the man's remarks, they threaten severe burns. At this point, Ben makes a crucifix weapon, sharpening one end like a sharp awl. After class, he hides the cross in a hidden jacket pocket and gets a video message. The online girl, Scarlight, turns out to be a lovely beauty. She informs him that she plans to visit the guy and arrives the next day. The girl invites him to a meeting because she dreams of seeing an online acquaintance. At the bus stop, the hooligans once again prevent Ben from getting on the right bus. The guys grab the poor teenager by the arms and drag him to a deserted place. The hooligans take the wristwatch, heart rate monitor, then take the kid's phone as well. They find a video of the cute Scarlight and find out about the lovers' planned meeting. When the agitated mother starts calling, the guy gets very angry. He pulls a hand knife out of his pocket and points it at the bullies. For a second, the guys are startled, but a moment later they have Ben on the ground. The hooligans beat the guy and feed him a narcotic pill. The worried mother finds her son's correspondence, from which she learns of his problems. Ben begins to be affected by the pill, which plunges the boy into another reality. He starts laughing out loud and sees the world distorted. He imagines Scarlight, with whom they soon make out. The guy has probably always dreamed of touching, but his life has been filled with the hatred of those around him. An old lady walking her dog watches him from the sidelines and is shocked by what is happening. After a while, his mother comes to take him home as soon as possible. Under the influence of drugs, the boy says he is cured, but the mother realizes that strange things are happening to the boy. The next morning, when the influence of the drugs has ceased, Ben wakes up in his mind. He recalls his mother showing the school video and asking a reason for the silence about what was going on. Because of the disturbing questions, the boy had another nervous breakdown, which resulted in him smashing many household items. The computer monitor was the first to fall, followed by the system unit. Later, the guy breaks the bathroom mirror, the shard of which he plans to cut his hands with. The small cut on his arm fascinates the guy, and he dreams of the MMORPG picture again. The sight that he sees greatly upsets his mother, and the woman summons his father. The man also has no control over Ben, because it is hard for a guy to get used to social norms. The parents send the hero to bed. While resting in bed, Ben remembers that Scarlight has made an important appointment. The boy leaves a note for his parents and sets off for the station. Accustomed to a different route, the autistic man has a very hard time figuring out the new road. The stressful situation is greatly exacerbated by the lack of a phone and a watch. The boy can't control the time, and he doesn't deny the possibility of the bullies coming back. He imagines a situation where angry classmates find the girl at the station. Arriving at the station, Ben tries to find Scarlight, who does not even represent his appearance. Finally, the boy notices Scarlight, but hesitates to approach. The girl texts him, but the hooligans have taken Ben's phone. Without waiting for the player, the girl leaves, leaving an indifferent look for Ben standing nearby. The boy goes after Scarlight and enters her wagon. Once on the train, Ben sits down next to the girl. A frustrated Scarlight looks out the window and listens to dramatic music while Ben keeps his eyes on the girl. Even after asking about the boy's well-being, Ben only runs off the wagon. Left alone, Ben faced another problem where he was in a completely unfamiliar place. Poor social skills, not even allowed to ask for directions back. Standing on the edge of the train platform, Ben decides to end his life. Such thoughts constantly enter the guy's head. Not throwing himself in front of the train, standing already at the very edge, is prevented by the lovely Scarlight. The girl calms Ben down and tells him funny facts about Anna Karenina's death. The pacification will be quick, but cutting off his head will leave his brain sensitive. The girl takes Ben from the train station to sit in a cafe. At the other end of town, a policeman files a case of her son's disappearance. The note helps reassure the mother, but the situation is exacerbated by the fact that Ben has never gone for a walk on his own. In addition to a folder with many ways to die, the mother finds a video camera with footage of bullying school children. Scarlight assures the boy that a simple train ride is the way of losers and losers. He can get back at all the bullies and figure it out on his own. After the conversation, Scarlight takes him home, where Ben is greeted by his joyful mother and the cops. In the boys' room, Scarlight proceeds to tell him about the stupid suicide attempts. To carry out what they have planned, they will need the help of their parents. The boys gather a family council and announce an interesting idea. The father admits that such a decision most would consider wrong, but responds to Ben's request. Together, they go to a seaside resort where they take tickets to a cruise ship. Their father's new crush tries to talk them out of it, but Ben's mother shuts the woman down. On the ship, Ben and Scarlight stand on the deck and admire the sea. The girl says that any end is a new beginning. The family goes down to the cafeteria, where the mother interrogates Ben about the planned action. The boy nods cheerfully, after which he leaves again for the deck. Putting the camera on a tripod so that the fence is visible in the frame, the guy climbs over it and jumps. All you can see in the frame are the light waves floating toward the shore. Ben's voiceover says what's left of it, only in the video footage. Later on television, footage of Ben's life is shown on the news. The newscaster tells us that suicidal thoughts constantly surround teenagers, so society must deal with the weakened state of children. At the memorial service, the school principal reads a speech under the sights of video cameras and news reporters. Among those in attendance are bullies who have consistently bullied Ben. Suddenly, a video of the boy appears on a large monitor thanking the people around him. He says that he has decided to end his life because of the constant bullying by his classmates. After the farewell video, a school recording appears of him being laughed at by his classmates. The video provokes a violent reaction from those present because the behavior of the classmates is very cruel. Scarlight and Ben watch from the second-floor balcony. The guy stands up to his full height, blocking the projector footage with him. It turns out that his leaving was just a fabrication for people to understand the autistic man's problems in life. Ben stands on the balcony where the audience present is watching his actions. The boy is videotaped by reporters, which ends the production of the film. Ben's mother revisits the beginning of her interview where she talks about the death of a family member. Now, the schoolchildren's bullying should definitely stop. In the final scene, viewers notice a happy family where Ben is being taught how to handle horses. The boy is talking to Scarlett, but the parents don't notice anyone around. It turns out that after the girl leaves, she's only imagined Ben. Scarlett has become a true image of peace and a stick of love in the boy's life.